Okay.
Ready?
He said everybody has blockage.
I know we're talking about pee and gas.
I didn't know about that.
Ready?
I pee really well. Hey everybody, I'm Tony Fleming from Fleming's Ultimate Garage, and guess what we're doing today? We're going to the UK. Thank you so much. Anyway, we're talking about British racing green, British sports cars with a 6-cylinder and an exhaust and a sound that is just fabulous. Let me tell you something, man. If you've never heard a TR6 going down the road, it's so different than the typical 4-cylinder cars that we get normally, which are still great cars, don't get me wrong, but the 6-cylinder adds a whole nother sound to it, very much like a 240Z did to those cars, and this is exactly what we're talking about. We have a restored car, we have a highly optioned car, and we have, and you already know this, a great looking car. We're gonna look at the quality of the paint today, we're gonna see the sealing in it, we're gonna be able to read the print on here. We're going to get inside, we're going to look under the hood, the detail, see if you could take this to a car show even. Let's go ahead and get that started. All right, so British Racing Green, man, it's hard to argue that. We have some Morgans in here today, and we have some other cars around that are in that color, and even like Cobras and what have you. That's such a great color. And the great thing about owning a car like this is if you like the black interior, it looks great, right? But you can also change that to a tan interior if you want to do, kind of making it your own. We can do that here for you if you like, but I think it looks fabulous just the way it is. I let people know that because then it's a kind of a way to personalize it yourself. However, let's get started on paint quality. Now, when I'm looking at this, I can see the ceiling, the vents, all of that cool stuff in there, right? Because we have this kind of cool open ceiling in here. And then this right here is the key, right? The pictures, we can manipulate pictures. I'm sure people do it all the time. But the world has not found a way to manipulate this video like this to see the clarity of those letters, letting us know how great the paint quality is. Maybe you want to go to a show and pull up and the lights are on. Maybe it's a night show or an early morning show. This car looks so good, but the lights are blowing up right down on it. Or, you know, maybe you want to take this to a car show, but we have lots of clients that don't really care about all that. They just want to get a great car, go for a drive, and enjoy it, and I dig that just as much. However, if you wanted to see how nice it is under the hood, we kind of do that here, and this is what we do. We detail the engine compartments here, painting them the right color instead of spray bombing everything black, right? Here we have that great 6-cylinder that gives us that 6-cylinder sound. Twin Strongberg side draft carburetors on here. This has power disc brakes, okay? And it's all nicely detailed in here. It's got the original tags are on the place here, showing you have a low mileage, beautifully restored car that you can enjoy for many, many years to come. One of the things I love too is we're doing this video right now and at the end of 2023, and the simple fact is this is the best time of year to be driving these cars. It is so much fun on the back roads, the engine falling, shifting up and down while we have our usual daily driver automatics. This is a nice breath of fresh air, and knowing that if you want to open the hood and show it off to some friends or at a car show or whatever, you'd feel really good doing that. All right, so many times people will say to me, wow, that's a great looking car, but you know what? A lot of times we don't know why it's a great looking car, and I like to point out some things that make for some things a little different than others, and some styling things. So if you're wanting to build a sports car, right, you want it to be a performance car, you're gonna add race car performance style things to it. So for instance, like we have here, this fuel filler cap, race inspired, right? Here we have the dual exhausts that are coming out here, swept up pipes, very much like a racy car. This car has an independent suspension, so it is a 4-wheel independent suspension, right, which is pretty cool, makes it handle really well. Who doesn't love the Redline tires? And these are the upgraded version of them. These are the Redline radials, right, so it makes this car drive so much better than, say, maybe the original tire did back in the day, which was a bias ply tire. Lastly, we want to be able to go somewhere in this car, okay? This has a great trunk with tons of room in it, so that you can throw some soft luggage in it. This is a brand new convertible top that we'll have installed here by the time you take delivery of the car. And lastly, I like this. This comes with the car. Not that I'm giving it to you, but the previous owner gave it to me to give to you, and I'll tell you why he gave that, because he took it to shows. They loved it, they enjoyed it, and they use this as a California duster style to just dust it off when you're in the infield or wherever you might be to do all those things. The way the trunk works is nice. You don't have to hold it with one hand while you're trying to fumble around with everything in here. It's nicely carpeted. It's got all that stuff in there, and then to close it, you just lift it up and let it drop. All right, so you're walking up to your cool British Classic car. You're going, wow, man, I can't believe this is my car. This looks awesome. The red line tires, the cool kind of bumpers here instead of having those giant overriders that would have been on there for the later models. Oh, my God. Poor Jaguars that had to carry that. Anyway, and then you say, you know what? I'm going to get inside the car, and I want you to see inside the car because while this is spectacular outside, inside is set up for a driver. Let's go check that out. All right, join me in here, and I like to do this for a couple reasons. One, because sometimes the question we get is, will I fit in that car? And so just to give you an idea, I'm 6'1", and I've got my legs stretched all the way out, okay? So that we know that tall people can fit in this car. We have plenty of headroom. Also, a lot of storage back here. This has 2 boxed-in speakers, which they don't have to be there if you don't want to. We could mount them in the floor or mount them somewhere else, but they're part of this high-end stereo system that comes with the car. It's got an amp, the speakers, this nice digital head unit in here. What some people like is purity, and what I mean by that is maybe you would like to have the stock radio put back in here and put the digital one, hide it in the glove box, right? That way it looks all stock here. It's up to you. It's your choice, whatever you want. My point is that the cockpit is set up to drive, and it's set up to drive with a 7,000 RPM tach, 140 mile an hour speedometer, right? So they felt like this car could really go. This wheel is nice too because it fits your hand and you sit in the car right and the shifter's right where it's supposed to be. It's not too far back here. It's not too far away. It's like just right. So it's different. You know what I mean when I say that? So like this interior is old school looking but great looking. And this is not like your daily driver. It's not like getting in your automatic car. And I'm not knocking today's car because today's car is really the best car ever built. And this is why you buy something like this, because it's not so sanitary as today's modern car, right? It makes a nice sound. It handles. It does things that just older cars do, and makes you smile while you're doing them. All right, so I want to close up the video and run down some of the things here that make some cars different than others. Like British sports cars are great looking cars. The style is continued to this day. You look at a Bentley, you look at a Rolls Royce, you look at an Aston Martin. These are top styled cars, right? No different back here too. But what we do have is something a little bit different in the sense that we have a 6-cylinder instead of the standard 4-cylinder. We have an independent rear suspension. We have power disc brakes. We have a great handling car. We have a great looking car with the 15-inch wheels and the red line tires. So many of these cars had 13-inch wheels back in the day. They knew that this car would be a performance car, and that's exactly what it is. And even if you don't want to take it to the track or do whatever, and you just want to cruise it, it's so much fun to do that. It's got a convertible top, roll-up windows, got all the things that make it kind of an all-season car as well as it has a heater too. So it's something you can enjoy all year round. I really think you'd enjoy it. Call us 301-816-1000. I'll tell you all about this TR6. And if you don't mind, hit the like button down below there. That helps get our message out. Subscribe to the channel. We're putting out new content all the time. And share it with your friends. They might like it as well. All right, I'll see you on the next one.